And you deliberately turn yourself into a coffee addict, right? What
Yes.
made you to take such an extreme step?
In Australia, they did a study with 17,000 people. Imagine
Mhm.
17,000 people,
17,000.
and they found that caffeine consumptions leads to a 50% higher chance of dementia. And the 17,000 people, they could prove that their gray brain matter reduced because of caffeine.
And
And
also talk to us about how does this caffeine actually weaken the immune system?
it's very simple if you go logically, okay, which
Mhm.
always try and to see, because I have a saying which is said, truth is very simple. It is so simple that the majority of people refuse the truth. They expect something complicated. Truth is simple. And another thought is lies and can only exist if the truth is first. The truth is always first, and the lie comes in second, right?
And Norbert, what practical advice would you give to someone who wants to break free from their caffeine habit?
Well, it sounds cheap, but it's true. You should get my book and read it, because in his book, and I'm not become a millionaire with this book. It's 16 bucks. Um, you learn a lot about life, and not only about caffeine, but addictions and about other issues which are somehow related, which you have no idea they are related. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
I have here an image which is a must to show to your audience.
So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, the world's only quadrilingual podcast at this moment of recording. And we are trying to embark into multiple languages as we speak. And here we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. And we want to simplify and amplify your journey to success. I'm your host, Navin Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place by bringing you wisdom through valuable discussions with experts designed to simplify and amplify your success. And thank you so much for tuning in. So, folks, we are joined by Norbert Heiser. He's a German inventor, entrepreneur, and public speaker who has been to 39 countries and delivered over 200 seminars and interviews. He's a Maverick health coach and author, and he challenges mainstream norms, especially when it comes to the world's favorite morning ritual, the coffee. I know this episode is going to break your heart, but in his latest book, Norbert takes on caffeine addiction head on with a scientific and deeply personal lens. So, Norbert, first things first, why should somebody tune into our podcast today?
Well, if you want to expand your universe, you have to leave your comfort zone. And my job is it to get you out of the comfort zone today to get new thoughts. Whether you agree with the thoughts, we'll find out. You decide for yourself. But if you want to dial in today to learn something perhaps new, different, just think, what if Norbert is right? That's all.
Amazing. So, folks, today we are going to have an interesting conversation on the topic at hand, caffeine, the silent drug in your cup. But before we get started, here is an exciting twist as always. And this time, the twist is we are going to fire the first rapid fire round of crazy questions rather than the random words. So, Norbert, I'm going to ask you a few crazy questions, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get the ball rolling.
Hello, I'm Steve Ahern, one of the judges of the Asia Podcast Awards. I'm interrupting this episode to let you know that you're listening to an award-winning podcast. This podcast won its category in the 2024 Podcast Awards, so you know you're listening to quality. Enjoy your listening experience, and congratulations to the team who created this award-winning podcast for you.
Please.
All right. Here's my first question. What is something absurd you deeply believe in?
I deeply believe in that our brain does not think. You, as a spiritual being, you think, but not your brain. And if you experienced reincarnation, you know what I'm talking about, because you're bringing thoughts from the past into the present, but you don't bring your brain in the present. So it must be you as a spiritual being who thinks.
Okay. Great perspective. And describe caffeine in one brutally honest word.
Besides sugar, the widest spread drug in the world is caffeine. We have caffeine not only in coffee, we have it in most soda pops, of course, in energy drinks like crazy. We have it in black tea, green tea, white tea. Caffeine, besides sugar, is the widest spread drug in the world.
Okay. And if you were banned from Earth and had to go to another planet, which one and why?
I would create my own planet and I call it sanity.
Sanity Planet. Amazing. And a movie title for your life story.
Impossible.
Impossible. Okay. One health myth you wish would vanish forever.
That people think the medical trait, medical doctors are knowledgeable. They know, they understand. That's a big myth.
Okay. Got it.
Example, medical doctors have never been educated in water, in electromagnetic radiation, in food, in minerals, in nutrition. They've never been educated.
Got it.
And
And-
in personal meetings, doctors have confirmed to me that they are educated to prescribe um, pharmaceutical products.
Mhm, mhm. And if you could ban one thing globally, what would it be?
Insanity.
Insanity. And what's your secret guilty pleasure, non caffeine?
For me personally, my pleasure is knowledge and understanding.
And what's more addictive, coffee or social media?
And let's replace, please, coffee with caffeine, because caffeine is
Yeah.
a part of coffee, and caffeine is the problem, not coffee itself, but the caffeine
All
in the
right.
coffee. So, caffeine is more addictive for a simple reason. If I lose tomorrow the internet,
Mhm.
I don't have a choice, right?
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
social media.
Mhm.
But if I don't have tomorrow caffeine, everybody who is drinking caffeine gets into a withdrawal, a physical, mental withdrawal, and become very obscure and sick.
Wonderful. I loved all your responses to the first rapid fire round. Thank you so much for participating so sportively, and I really appreciate it. And there is one more rapid fire round toward the end of the episode, so stay tuned. And Norbert, first of all, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. Thank you so much for being part of our journey. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and I'm thankful to be with you. And your station shouldn't be guiding voice; you are a guiding choir.
All right, thank you. And let's get started. Talk to me about your guiding voice.
Um, my guiding voice is common sense and happiness.
Spot on. And can you talk to us about your success mantra, as in top three things that have contributed to your success so far?
Well, as I already mentioned, my thirst for truth. I'm looking for truth. I'm not looking for my truth or your truth. I'm just looking for truth. What works? What is common sense? And not selling my soul
Mhm.
and my satisfaction in understanding. These are the 3 points.
Got it. And you deliberately turn yourself into a coffee addict, right? What
Yes.
made you to take such an extreme step?
I'm working for more than 40 years as a management and health consultant. And before COVID, I gave many hundred seminars. And in the seminars, I always said on stage, guys, stay away from caffeine. It is a very dangerous dead end street. But I, in my lifetime, never drank coffee or caffeine. Hardly any soda pops, never energy drinks, never caffeine, coffee.
Mhm.
So I said, when COVID was hitting me and I couldn't give seminars, it's time for me to make a self test. I make a
Mhm.
self test. How do I react with caffeine? So I made a self test, which I describe in my book, Every Coffee Drinker is a Drug Addict. And I had to experience it for myself. So before everything I teach, I experienced myself in life, or I went with somebody as a consultant through certain things. So I had a really one-on-one experience. But with coffee, I never had it. So I wanted to find out.
Got it. And what was the most shocking effect you experienced during your caffeine withdrawal?
Well, my most shocking effect was, as a health consultant, I consulted many alcoholics,
Mm-hmm.
and I know how alcoholics work, which I explain in my book. And I'm not talking only about caffeine addiction. And I experienced then that I reacted in my withdrawal situation the same as my clients who I try to get off of alcohol. The reactions and the discussions to myself with myself were the exact same thing and justifications.
That is shocking. Mm-hmm. And can you break down the science behind caffeine's link to dementia and brain matter reduction?
Sure. In my book, I give many quotes and many regional studies, medical studies, and one I quote from Switzerland and one I quote from Australia. In Australia, they both found out the same thing. In Australia, they did a study with 17,000 people. Imagine
Mhm.
17,000 people,
17,000.
and they found that caffeine consumptions leads to a 50% higher chance of dementia. And the 17,000 people, they could prove that their gray brain matter reduced because of caffeine.
Mhm, mhm,
That was for me shocking.
mhm. And also, Norbert, you compare caffeine's dependency to LSD and alcohol. So I'm curious to understand what kind of reactions have you faced for this bold claim?
Well, first of all, I explained that I, as a life consultant several many people who were alcoholics, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I saw the reactions of the alcoholics physically and mentally.
Hmm.
And I came across a study which I show in my book. It's called Active Lethal Dose Ratio and Dependency Potential of Psychoactive Drugs. And here's a graphic I want to show to the audience, which shows where on the graphic caffeine is based compared to others like LSD, like alcohol. And you look at the graphic and you see this. Of course, in my book, I present this as well.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move forward. And many people say coffee gives them mental clarity and boosts productivity. What is the science behind this? Is it a reality or is it an illusion?
It's complete illusion. But
Hmm.
when you're addicted to something, you will always sacrifice the addiction, right? Um, I explain it in book in details. It's a big subject. I
Hmm.
cannot answer it in one sentence only, but it's a big subject, and I explain it in details why it is an illusion. It's an
Hmm.
artificial. It's an artificial jump of energy which collapses as soon as you stop consuming the product. And energy must come from nature. What did we do up to 100 years ago when we had no big caffeine, energy, and soda pops consumptions? And remember, in older times, which I explain, coffee is relatively new on this planet. And first, only rich people could afford it. Poor people could not afford coffee, right? So, what did we do about energy before that all happened? We had natural energy sources, which is good sleep, which is healthy food, which is healthy water, which is mental stability, which is love, which is affection, and which is no drugs. And sunlight, daylight. We have not enough sunlight, daylight. So we got energy from all these sources, and this was healthy energy, and we did not collapse when we didn't have the source of this artificial energy.
Yeah. I think we are lacking exposure to the natural sunlight these days, which is leading to a lot of health complications. And
Yes.
that's a great reminder. And
Yes.
also talk to us about how does this caffeine actually weaken the immune system?
It's very simple if you go logically, okay, which
Hmm.
always try and to see, because I have a saying which is said, truth is very simple. It is so simple that the majority of people refuse the truth. They expect something complicated. Truth is simple. And another thought is lies and can only exist if the truth is first. The truth is always first, and the lie comes in second. Right? if you have fear and anxiety, and everything you do wrong to your mind and your body weakens your immune system. Very simple. Everything you do wrong to your mind and your body weakens your immune system. Whether it's caffeine, or whether it's you do criminal acts, or whether you are aggressive with people, whether you have fear of death, or you have cancer, your fear of dying, of course. That makes, by the way, that makes your cancer grow. Fear makes your cancer grow, and every third person is dying of cancer. Not only fear, but the consumption of sugar. Cancer feeds on sugar, and cancer feeds on acidity. And coffee is very acidic, and caffeine drinks are all very acidic, and they feed cancer.
Mhm. Yeah. I think this is something which I haven't come across so far, and I'm sure audience might be coming across this or listening to this for the very first time. And I'm sure you might have uncovered a lot of stuff related to caffeine in your book. And I think audience, you will find the link to Norbert's book in the show notes or the episode description. Go ahead and grab a copy. And with that, let's move forward, Norbert. What should pregnant women and young parents know about caffeine risks?
It's very simple.
Mhm.
Everything an expecting mother consumes,
Mm.
everything she drinks or eats, she feeds to the baby.
Right.
There's no other way. That's
Mm.
just simple, right? It's very simple. So
Yes.
if I take heroin or crack, will
Mhm.
it affect the baby?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Caffeine is a drug. Caffeine affects the baby. So I feed the baby with caffeine, and I call it the gateway to drugs. So that when the baby is born, it's already addicted, used to caffeine. And most kids, when they're 2, 3, 4 years old, what do they drink? They drink, most of them drink soda pops, Coke products, and eat sugary food, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're already on the track of drugs in a mild form, but they're on the track. So they easily accept caffeine products and they enjoy it because they were born and raised with it. And
Mhm.
in my book, I quote from mothers a lot of medical research, how caffeine affects physically the growth of your baby, up to a study in Spain where they found that women who drink caffeine get their baby born earlier than the due time and average less weight.
Right. Now, this is again another mind blowing fact. And really, we got to be careful about what we consume, especially those who I'm referring to the expecting mothers. Please be cautious and be conscious as well what you eat and what you drink. And Norbert, this has been an amazing conversation with a lot of eye opening insights, but it's time for us to add some more excitement and some more spice into the episode, which means we need to kick off the second rapid fire round with the set of intriguing questions. If you're ready, let's
Of
dive in.
course. Intrigue me, please. Please go ahead.
All right. All right. So here comes my first bullet out of second rapid fire. So if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. Two simple words, but very powerful.
Lack of education
Hmm.
is the grave of our society. Lack of education and greed, these are the downfalls of our society.
Yeah, I love it. And then can you describe yourself in just one word?
That's difficult for a man like me. I lived so many different lives. I would say authentic. I'm authentic.
Yeah. And a book that changed your life.
Wow, there are several which intrigued me and did a big impact on me. Let me say this one is Mutant Message from Down Under,
Hmm.
from an American doctor who shared time with people, Aborigines in Australia, and she writes her experience. Mutant Message from Down Under, and the author is called Marlo Morgan.
Marlo Morgan, Newton's message under.
From Down Under, or Mutant Message Down Under, yes.
All right. Got it. And what's one everyday healthy thing people blindly trust but shouldn't?
don't trust the medical doctor. It's very simple, and I mean it. When I give seminars, and they're always medical doctors, they come up to me and tell me why what you taught today is not taught on university, right?
Mhm.
So, and here I have a graphic, what my opinion is about medical doctors. You see here this pyramid,
Yeah.
and you see, I say 95% of the doctors are mediocre,
Mhm.
3% are good, and 2% are fantastic. And your job is to find these 2 or 3% of medical doctors. And what I found out, most of these medical doctors who are fantastic, when I discuss with them and I research them and I found out what's going on, why are you different? They all studied to learn after they left university. They
Mhm.
knew I had to learn. And they started other techniques which were not taught on university. They incorporated other techniques, Western, Eastern medicine, um, a lot of things which the average doctor never practice because it's too complicated for them or takes too long time. Don't forget that a medical doctor is under pressure. He must have every day 20, 30 patients. Otherwise, he cannot cover his cost. It's a vicious circle. So don't trust any medical doctor. Select whom you trust. There are good ones.
Yeah.
And everyday healthy thing, what people think, as I said, true energy cannot come from caffeine if it's true energy.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. All right. And if you had to rename caffeine with a warning label, what would it be called?
It wouldn't be good, the warning label. I would have to say, it's my belief. Safe way to hell,
Safe way to
mentally and physically. Mentally and physically safe way to hell. Long term. You'll find out.
Interesting. And one wellness hack that sounds like a scam but actually works.
It's my definition of health. Okay. My definition
Yeah.
of health, which I have here a beautiful shot. I call it the definition of health: body and mind in harmony. Body and mind in harmony. When you talk to people about health, they always talk about body, about a healthy product they eat or how their body is doing, and they forget their mind. My opinion, if you're not healthy in your mind, you will have a problem to be healthy in your body. And health is the harmony between body and mind.
Mhm. Good one. And what's a daily ritual people follow that silently ruins their health?
Well, that's very easy. I explain it in my book intensively,
Mhm.
and the long education. As an adult man, I went for 1 year to a medical doctor because he healed me. I was close to dying, and he helped me. And I was so impressed that I went for 1 year every day except Sunday and Christmas to
Mhm.
learn from him. And the bottom line is, every time you have a craving for something,
Mhm.
it's the proof of addiction.
Mhm.
Again, every time you have a craving for something, it's a proof of addiction. You don't have a craving for a salad in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
Nobody has a craving for a salad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. True.
But if you have a craving, for example, caffeine, cigarettes, alcohol, the craving means, or sugar products, right? The craving
Yeah.
means I cannot control it. And I found out my thesis is you can have a craving for 3 P's, the letter P's. You can have a
Mhm.
craving for a product,
Mhm.
let's say crack or alcohol.
Mhm.
You have a craving for a person,
Mhm.
which can be very damaging.
Right.
It's not a healthy, balanced relationship, but a really unhealthy craving for the person. Or you have kind of the third P is procedure. You can have a craving for a procedure. Now, a lot of people have first misunderstanding. What the hell does that mean? Well, if you have a craving for computer games or
Mhm.
for tattoos, which I have another show that tattoos are the new pandemic. If you have a craving for tattoos and somebody has a tattoo, ends up with 5, 10, or 20 tattoos, not only with one.
Right.
You have a craving for gambling. You have a craving for pornography. These are cravings for a procedure, not a person or a product. So you can have a craving for a product, procedure, or a person.
Person.
And you should stay away from everything where you have a craving. And how do you find out? Don't take the product, for example, coffee in the morning for 2-3 days. You start to have withdrawal symptoms, which I explain in the book, which means here I am. I'm addicted like an alcoholic, like a crack person. I can't let it go.
Got it. Looks like your book is filled with a lot of insights and some scientifically backed facts as well. So it's an interesting thing, and I can't wait to read it fully. And with that, let me move to the next one. If you had the power to delete one word from the English language, what would it be?
One of the most dangerous words, which is mentally and physically dangerous, is called hate. Okay. And in my work and on my website, I talk about water. One of my special themes is water. Okay.
Right.
And protection from electromagnetic radiation. And there was a Dr. Masaru Emoto from Japan. He made photos of water, the water crystals, and he showed how you had a healthy, good water crystal, and you spoke the word hate, and the crystal was destroyed.
Oh my God.
And we know that water cannot listen, right? It has no ears. But we live on a planet which is based on frequency. So every word has a frequency. Every product has a frequency. You have your own frequency. And the word hate is one of the hate and devil and Satan are one of the strongest negative frequencies there are.
I love it. And here comes the last one for the second rapid fire round. So, what is one invention that the world badly needs but nobody is working on?
To find an answer to insanity. I mentioned this before. It's a big theme I'm doing because insanity is the downfall. If you can look at something like it really is, right? And you act insane. And I must say, to my observation, if I look around the world since COVID, I think it started with COVID. That's my opinion. People became more insane. They act ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So we have to create sanity, to know how to create sanity, which brings people to happiness.
I love it. And after that amazing second rapid fire round, let's flip back to the mainstream. And Norbert, what practical advice would you give to someone who wants to break free from their caffeine habit?
Well, it sounds cheap, but it's true. You first should get my book and read it. Because in this book, and I'm not become a millionaire with this book, it's $16. You learn a lot about life, and not only about caffeine, but addictions and about other issues which are somehow related, which you have no idea they are related. Okay. I have here an image which is a must to show to your audience. The NASA made a test with spiders. Here you see a spider web, which is a beautiful piece of art. It's like a mathematical construction, right? The spider web. Good. And then they gave the spider caffeine. And then you see the second spider web. The spider was not able to make any more web just by consuming caffeine. So these things and examples I give in the book should make you understand what caffeine does, not only to animals, but only to human beings. And you should know being aware of a problem is half the solution. And you don't have the power to break away from an addiction, any addiction, if you don't have the strong will to do it and you realized I should do it. I gotta get away from it. If you don't have this thought process, I gotta get away from it. I understand it creates my life, my problems to my family. Because imagine this, if you have an alcoholic in the family, this alcoholic typically spoils the life of 5, 6 other people. Let's say it's a man. He spoils the life of his wife, of his 2 children, of his own parents. One person has the power with his addiction to create upsets and spoil the life of 5, 6, 7 other people. So the first step is realize you have a problem. Then ask yourself, do I want to get away from the problem? And if you say yes, you have a chance to get away from it. And then you need professional help. And I give the help in my book, how I would go about it.
Right. Excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and it's, as I said earlier, it's completely eye-opening. And thank you so much for joining me. And how is your experience being hosted on TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast?
I must say, you are more intensively prepared. You'd intensively prepared yourself for this interview than anybody else ever before. You looked into my book, may have not read it completely, but you got the hang of it and my story. And the questions you are bringing up, it gives joy to me to do an interview because they're so different. And as I mentioned before, you're not a guiding voice, you're a guiding choir. You're the power of a guiding choir. I thank you for your invitation. I thank you for the invitation, okay?
Most welcome, and thank you so much, Norbert. And I love the work that you are doing, and this is something essential because people overlook certain things, and I look up to leaders like you who go that extra mile in terms of uncovering certain facts which are actually causing a lot of harm to the humanity. So I wish you all the best in everything that you do, and I'm sure your book will be the bestseller. And wish you more success and more power to you. Thank you once again for joining me.
Thank you, Naveen. It has been a pleasure. Thank you. And to the audience, bye-bye. All the best.
Thank you so much. So, friends, that was our episode with Norbert Heiser. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request in case if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, request you to share with at least your friends or colleagues or family members who would also like TGV. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now it's time for us to hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. Having had amazing conversation about caffeine, I thought I would present you two lesser known facts about lesser known as well as interesting facts about the origins of coffee making, because coffee is also one of those things which has caffeine. So first is the coffee was first eaten and it was not brewed. Yes, you heard it right. Coffee became a beverage, and before coffee became a beverage, East African tribes, particularly in Ethiopia, used to grind coffee berries together with animal fat to create high energy rich snack balls. And they didn't brew coffee as a drink, but it was more consumed like an energy bar. Second fact is that the first coffee houses were known as schools of the wise. The first coffee houses were known as the schools of the wise. The world's first coffee houses, which appeared in the Ottoman Empire, the modern day Turkey, in the 16th century, were called kahve khane. I'm repeating, they were called kahve khane, and they quickly became popular hubs for intellectual conversation, political debates, chess games, and music, earning them the nickname the schools of the wise, and a tradition that made coffee synonymous with learning and social exchange. Likewise, if you're aware of any other interesting facts related to coffee, or if you're aware of any other side effects related to caffeine consumption, do let me know. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, you can comment there, or if you found this episode on any other social media platforms, you can comment there as well. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. That's it for today. And thank you for being part of our awesome TGV family. So, until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.